listen, we're getting into the final stretch here. We're going to do a little locked up or not, a couple awards going around the league. Want to start with Rookie of the Year?
Let's do it.
All right, is anyone locked up for this?
John Morant is locked up at this point.
Locked up.
What if Zion has a monster second half?
I mean, there's only like 30 games.
I know.
You
Lock
know
it
what I'm
up.
saying? Like,
Lock it up.
I think it's really hard. We've seen this before where Joel Embiid, I believe he played like 37, 38 games one year. He finished a close second to Malcolm Brogdon. Clearly, Joel Embiid was a better player than Malcolm Brogdon, who's a good player in his own right. But Malcolm played the whole season, and Joel played about as many games as Zion will play.
All right, hypothetically, Zion played the whole season. Was it his?
Oh, I think it was his.
Yeah.
I think it would have been his, just because his impact has been more immediate, as great as Ja has been. And look, he's dragged that team to the 8th seed at this point. I just think Zion's upside, we've seen it already, is higher.
All right, well, props to John Morant.
What's crazy is that it's the first time in a while, maybe not a while, where the first 2 picks are really what you thought they were.
Yeah.
Like, there was no surprise. Like, these guys were predicted to be NBA future All-Stars, and they're showing it already.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You don't have very many of those when you think back, right? Like 1 and 2 actually working itself out. We've had like 1 and 3, right? LeBron and Carmelo. I mean, that whole draft, right? The 96 draft, the 84 draft. There's a lot of guys, but 1 and 2 is very hard to nail.
All right,
It's like quarterbacks in the NFL. Very rarely do, the first 2 quarterbacks picked both work out.
I thought back in 1997 or 8, I would have told you, take Ryan Leaf. He was the guy.
He's a nice guy.
He's a great guy.
He is a great guy.
Well, lock it up, Rich.
All right, how about Defensive Player of the Year? Anthony Davis, locked up?
I don't think locked up. There's
Not
still
locked
there's
up.
a couple of guys. First of all, Rudy Gobert has
Right,
been
yeah.
fantastic. He's the reigning Defensive Player of the Year.
Giannis has to be in that conversation.
Giannis is absolutely in the conversation because the Bucks are the best defensive team, and he's the best two-way player in the NBA.
Right.
Maybe him and Kawhi, but Kawhi doesn't qualify this year for me. He just hasn't played enough games for me to give him any of these superlative awards.
You can't win this award, with the load management thing going on.
Right.
And,
And
how
by the
about-
way, I got someone for you that no one's talking about. Ben Simmons. I think Ben Simmons is one of the best individual defenders in the NBA. And if you look now, I understand everyone thought that the Sixers would have this historic defensive team. But when you look at his impact on the floor, it's pretty big.
Okay, so we can't lock it up.
No,
Not
no
yet.
lockup.
All right, it's no one's award yet.
Yeah,
All right, let's
not
get
locked
into locked up or not, Coach of the Year. Is it Nick Nurse?
Nick Nurse is probably still the front runner, although I would give Billy Donovan a shot. I mean, think about this. The Oklahoma City Thunder were picked by Vegas at 33 wins. And they're going to make the playoffs in the Western Conference, okay? So this is an award that it's about overachieving, right? In a lot of ways. And I think the Oklahoma City Thunder have overachieved. But Nurse is right there. Nurse and Donovan, to me, is a dead race because of just the streak that they just had. Toronto Raptors had, what, a 15, 16-game win streak? Yeah. They're the 2 seed. It's impressive.
But again, no one expected the Raptors to be this good without Kawhi.
But we thought they'd be a playoff team and probably like a top 4 or 5 seed. Nobody had the Oklahoma City Thunder in the playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah, and does Nick Nurse get bonus points because you've discussed with us before that he's one of the nicest guys in the NBA?
He really is one of the nice. I've been on Team Nurse for a long time.
Right.
I think he's a North American treasure. So the more I can be around Nick Nurse, the happier I am.
All right, how about most improved player in the NBA? You got someone locked up?
Lock it up, George.
No, I don't have anyone locked up because I
Really?
think this
Luka?
is
Luka maybe not locked up?
Luka's in the conversation. Luka's also in the MVP conversation,
Right.
Even though he's probably like a distant 3rd or 4th. Pascal Siakam could win it again.
By the way,
I mean,
that's the one I hear the most buzz about. Like,
Just
it's going to be
keeps
him again.
improving.
He keeps getting better and better.
I mean, he went from being a 3rd piece to being a sidekick in season last year to now being the number 1 guy on
Does
his
that
team.
make sense, though, for him to win again? It's like, can't we just say, all right, he's good. He improved last year. We just accept him being good now.
It's possible. Yeah,
Right.
maybe some people will think that way.
I think that way.
Okay, so you got those two you mentioned, Doncic. And, Doncic would fit in that category,
Okay,
though,
yeah,
right?
right.
But Brandon Ingram is probably one of the leaders in the clubhouse, too. And Bam Adebayo of the Heat. I mean, he is now the prototypical center, and we saw over All-Star Weekend all the accolades he was getting from all his
Yeah,
teammates.
first-time All-Star, playing big. A name
that's
we're hearing all the time now.
We talked about it the other day with Ryan Hollins, one of the dark horses of the NBA, that no one really thought the Heat would be this
No,
good.
absolutely
No
not.
one thought
I
that.
was the only one that thought they'd be like a top 4 seed, and they're making me look good, but they could be a 2 seed still at this point.
I remember you saying, I believe, here on ESPN, you were laughed at.
Laughed at on the jump
Laughed
set.
at on the
Laughed
jump.
at the jump set.
Wow.
The entire staff there, behind the scenes, all laughing while I said it on live television.
Oh, look at Sedano with his heat, they whispered.
Oh, man.
All right, how
I
about
brought
this?
the heat.
Lock it up or not?
Or not?
No,
MVP?
you lock it up.
No, you lock it up.
You lock it up.
Somebody lock it up.
Locked Up, your favorite Akon song. How about MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo?
Not locked up.
Not locked
now,
up.
most people would lock it up. I am not locking it up because I think LeBron James is the guy that I would vote for today.
Is it the assists? Is it the overall play? Is that what
So
it is?
the assists, he's leading the league in assists at 35 years old. We haven't seen someone do that since Steve Nash.
Right.
Okay, who won an MVP when he did it.
Yeah.
The other situation I look at is the Lakers' expectation. We didn't think they would be a 1 seed. We thought, okay, remember last year we were like kind of down on the Lakers, and yeah, they added Anthony Davis, and we figured, well, they'll be a top 4 seed. But they've been the best team in the Western Conference by a country mile at this point.
And I said it yesterday, I'm so rooting for that because he's like the older guy now, and he hasn't won an MVP since 2013. Really hasn't won that many.
Right, he's only won a
that
couple.
would be so cool if he
Well,
won.
I mean, what I'd locked up, by the way, before the season started
Lock it up, lock it up, lock
was
it up.
the wins over under in Vegas for the Lakers was like 55.
50. No, it was like 50, 51.
I remember I made a little, I got to check out how much I put on. Probably not enough, but this team did overachieve considering what they thought.
Yeah.
Now, because we all see that Anthony Davis is possibly Defensive Player of the Year, and that's sort of the sentiment going around the league. Does he not steal votes from LeBron in the MVP race?
Perhaps. I mean, I think that there was a time where you could have said both guys were top 5 MVP guys. I don't know if that's the case at this particular
And
moment.
how about Giannis? I mean, you could say he's even better this year,
Yeah.
so how could he possibly lose? What does he have to do to seal the deal and lock it up, George?
I mean, probably get to 70 wins. If he gets to
Yeah,
70
then
wins,
that
then
is it.
it's hard to give it to somebody else.
Then lock it up.
Yeah.
A lot of locks.
Throw away the key at that point.
Yeah.
You said it, buddy.
Yeah, lock it up.
Sedano, great seeing you, man.
Absolutely, bro.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you so
Always
much.
good to see you.
Love seeing your face on TV.
All right, this
I love
Saturday, ABC, Sixers, Bucks.
Boom! It's our guy
8
right here.
Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.